Welcome back. I'm at Boston Motorsports in Brighton, Mass. They've just invited me down to drive this 2014 Aston Martin Vanquish. This is very cool because A, it's a V12 Aston Martin, but B, this was the flagship because at the time, the second generation of the Vanquish, they had discontinued the DBS. So this was the big boy. And yes, it's based on the V8 platform, but there's a whole lot of carbon fiber going on. And oh my goodness, is it a joy to drive. And look at these brakes, man. This thing aged so well. Incredible. Something I was taught a long time ago by some folks at Aston Martin is the color. The color matters. So you can see that this is black. That's usually reserved for DBS or flagship high-end models. Green is for everything else. Red, if that was red, this would be a Zagato. Let's go inside and start it up. Now, we've got the old style key, which I like. You gotta be careful though. You don't wanna like scratch your paint with it. Of course, gotta have those swan doors. Inside, leather everywhere. Little button to get to the back seats, which I just wanna see, can it be done? Can an adult person get back here? Barely. This is tight. This is very tight. Oh my God, no. Nope, there's no way. Yeah, I have no headroom. I would not recommend taking anyone in the back of this, ever. Oh, it already hurts. But you know what I did notice while I'm back here is the stitching along the center of the roof. So hey, how about that? And of course, don't forget, you've got those great visors to keep the sun out of your eye. Oh, it reminds me of Lamborghini. You'll also notice, of course, you've got hand-built in England, and here is your e-brakes. So I'll show you all the goodies, but let's just get inside and start it up because that's the best part. God, I love this key. So the key goes in here. That's your accessory position. Foot on the brake. Incredible. I did just have it out driving. It's a little warmed up. Valved exhaust. Crazy rumble. This produces, I believe, 565 horsepower, but you know what? That's not the point. All carbon fiber here. We've got this big, nasty V12. It is front engine. There's no way you're getting that any further back. Around the back, you'll notice that this is also carbon fiber. So everything here, man, it's so doing its thing, trying to be the lightweight flagship, even though it still weighs 3,800 pounds. And we won't take it out, but we've got your Aston Martin badged umbrella. Very important for resale, guys. You've got to have the umbrella. Soft close, beautiful stuff. We don't have the soft close up front. We haven't quite gotten there yet like we do on the current DBS, which has the soft close clamshell. Make sure that's down nice and tight. This is carbon fiber. If that flies up, you're in trouble. When you sit inside, the first thing I noticed is the shape of the wheel. Kind of reminds me of the current gen C8 Corvette. Very square, very interesting. But one thing that actually kind of annoys me is that this is as high up as that steering wheel goes. So it will come down, but it does not go any higher than that. And I would like it to go just a tad higher because even in my sitting position, which is all the way down, I feel like I'm looking down at the dashboard a bit, which is fine. I can still see everything. I hope you can see everything. Classic Aston Martin gear selector. And like I said, the e-brake is currently on, even though it's down. You pull up, push the button, down. Now your e-brake is off. And now you know how to quickly get away with an Aston Martin. So the first thing you have to do when you have a V12 Aston Martin is go through a tunnel. Probably gonna blow out the earphones, but we're gonna try it. Not a crazy downshift on the way down. And that's where you can tell that this gearbox is designed for comfort, not for a racetrack. But we are okay with that. The other thing is that it soaks up bumps. We're going to get out to the highway and some nicer roads in a minute, but I mean, I'm not like concerned about it. I'm actually just driving it as if it were a daily driver. This is probably more forgiving than my M3. We've got the old style tach here too, the reverse direction counterclockwise tachometer. Brilliant. I don't like that in any other car. They currently do it in the new BMWs. It's very confusing because they have poorly contrasted colors on the BMWs. This thing makes a lot of sense though. And this was, I think, the first Aston Martin to come with launch control, and you've got the big button here. We're not going to do that. This is a for sale car. I don't want to be... Oh, dude. It has ventilated front seats. 2014? That's crazy. You're probably going to hear that. I'm grateful for it because I'm trying to keep the HVAC system down for audio. Let's exercise this V12 a little bit. You gotta remember, this is not a twin turbo. This is all natural. So all the power is gonna come in up top. You're not gonna get that surge of torque down low. What a thing. Putting its blinker on the wrong direction, very odd. It's 2020. This gearbox, it starts to feel a little dated. But at the end of the day, the purpose of this car is not to be some like hot boy track thing, and it's still doing the job. Although there was an update in August 2014, and all the subsequent Vanquishes that came after that had better performance from a slightly higher output engine and an 8-speed automatic gearbox. So I would imagine that the 8-speed is probably the more desirable of the two, maybe a little faster shifting, but this certainly still does the trick. It's clear that this was designed in England. If this was not designed in England, if this was designed in Germany, this would be rigid and miserable and impossible to drive on roads like this. But these definitely reflect British B roads. If you own this car, you have to just go windows down. It sounds absolutely incredible, echoing off the rock walls in the wealthy suburbs that I'm sure you live in if you own this car. You're just bathing in carbon fiber. It's everywhere. Great color combination on that SL. Tell you what, the real world is always going to bring you down in this car. Driving this in Massachusetts, there's two sides to it. One, there's traffic. So why do you need 565 horsepower to play with when you can't really use it? There's always going to be people on your commute. But the other side of it is that this is so comfortable and relaxing and luxurious and sporty and has so much personality. This is the perfect car for these roads. It's designed to be driven on garbage roads, and it does it so effortlessly. What does the horn on an Aston Martin Vanquish sound like? That's pretty ordinary. Okay, we'll give them a pass on that one. This somehow manages to be a supercar without, like, making you look like an asshole. I'm blown away. I love this. I never want to give this back. I want to keep it. Fun fact, the transmission of this car is in the rear. For weight distribution, it manages to still eke out a 5149 weight distribution front to rear, which is pretty impressive. Got a hot shoe Passat behind us. Will she do it? got a tailgating Corvette on me. But I think that's the life you'd end up leading if you had this car. People would just want to race you all the time. It would be a competition everywhere. Beautiful collie, or Aussie. It's like an Aussie collie. People are driving like maniacs today. Absolutely crazy. And I am not. That's the beauty of the Aston Martin. You can just chug along 2,200 RPM at 80 miles an hour. What a thing. I want to just drive this up and down to New Hampshire and Vermont over and over and over again. This is what that's for. This is designed to just relax and soak up hundreds of miles at 100 miles an hour. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this costs right now. I know that new, it cost about $300,000, and depreciation is usually not a good friend of Aston Martin. They definitely come way, way down on price, so I'd imagine that you can get these for something of a steal. The Ferrari is never gonna be your daily. The Ferrari is never going to be something that you're going to just proudly drive every day, everywhere, into the city, and, you know, this does exactly that. This is incredibly capable as a street car, as like a normal driver. Yes, there's obviously a sense of occasion in it, but at the same time, I'm not so concerned about the world around me, even though there's traffic, even though it's hot outside. I'm just isolated in my beautiful cocoon of British luxury. I'm so bummed I have to give this back. I do not want to give this back. And because it's just an automatic gearbox, it's no funny DCT or single clutch trickery, you can just creep it forward nice and easy. Everything's just so easy. Like, this car is so easy to drive. You could give this to anybody. The car is really big, but it's still very easy to place. That's pretty critical when you're in a city like this, because there are curbs everywhere, there's narrow roads, and even on the roads that aren't narrow, there's potholes that force them to be narrow, so you have to get up close to that curb. What a crazy city Boston is. The looks you get in the Vanquish are so bizarre, because people don't initially know what it is. They just know it's special. It looks expensive. It looks refined. So they give a quick glance, and then they have to do the look back. They have to turn around and see what just went by them, hoping that they're going to read something on the back of this car that's going to tell them what it is. Thank you so much to Boston Motorsports here in the Brighton neighborhood of Boston for letting me pilot this V12 monster Aston Martin Vanquish. And thank you guys for coming along for the ride. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, whether you're offering $1 or $15. Everything counts toward making this content possible. Thank you. I definitely prefer driving around town in this than in like a bright red Ferrari. People give you the nod in this. They're like proud of you. They're excited for you.